All right. So speaking of Fortnite, Epic. This is. I talked about this a while ago. So what will be the effects of Epic Games ruling have on Apple stock, being that it's a $7 billion hit to their revenue. So this is interesting on a few different levels. If you've been following this Epic Game Apple fight for over a year and a half now.
Has it been that long?
I think it's yeah.
I felt like, yeah, maybe last summer they
It's
started the suit.
it's been a
Yeah.
while. So well, first you want to kind of bring them up to date as far as what's happening with that, or
Yeah, so I mean the suit was really over the fees that you had to pay in app purchases, and I think the 30% they were fighting the 30% that everybody who was on the App Store had to pay to be a part of it, and so it's kind of a double edge, right? Like 30%, yeah, it seems like a lot, but when you get on a platform like Apple, who brings you billions of
but
customers,
they're looking at it like they're already Fortnite. So that's a crazy thing.
and that's what I'm saying. They already
It's
Fortnite,
who
but
has the most leverage. Yeah.
it's
yeah,
important to
exactly.
understand Apple's revenue streams. They have a lot of different revenue streams, and one of their revenue streams is the App Store. 30% is a lot
It's a lot.
if you really think about it, because they're getting 30% of everybody that's in the App Store.
But
So
the bigger question is, where else can give you that type of exposure?
Nowhere.
nowhere.
Maybe a Super Bowl ad, but that's for one day.
Right.
Yeah, but so Epic fought back and they put out a dope commercial. I went over. I made an Instagram post with my son about that, where they did. Remember Apple's original commercial, like when they did the 1984 commercial, and they threw it at the. So they said Apple's trying to take us back to 1984, meaning like Apple's trying to become Big Brother. Apple's trying to take the little guy's money, and it's an interesting situation. So they sued them, and they won the lawsuit, I believe.
No, Epic lost the lawsuit.
Epic lost.
They lost the lawsuit. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where do we stand with this, Ian? What's your thoughts on what's going on?
Normally I would come on and be like, yo, Tim Cook's second greatest CEO of all time, and I'm not worried. This is not the case. 7 billion is a lot of revenue to potentially lose. I'm not just worried about Epic, but what if the top 50 apps come together and then at one time they say, we need to do something about this fee. Now, of course, they're working on a car, and we can talk about that later. But when you are looking at potentially maybe 50 or 60 apps coming together and then making you negotiate from 30 to 10 or 15%, that is a huge hit. So I know they're going to try and offset the losses. They're going to add some incentives. They're going to do some things with developers on the back end. But from a branding perspective, I think it was brilliant for Epic to go up against the giant, because Epic is not a small company. They can say the 1984 thing, and that's cute. And Apple did the same thing with Microsoft. Yeah. So it's a little bit of karma coming back home on the back end of the 2007 I'm a Mac versus PC campaign. But I'm worried if 40 or 50 apps come together, force them, and if they get the monopoly tag from the federal court, that'd be bad. Am I worried about the stock? No, in the short term. Yeah. But it is to see maybe 7 to, on the high end, $84 billion leave out of Apple in the worst case scenario. That's nothing to sneeze at. Yeah, long term, they'll be great, but it's something I would be concerned about.
I think a small win in this was that, yeah, the 30% they lost that lawsuit, but I think that they ruled that they have to change how they do in-app purchases. And so you've already paid your 30% to be in the App Store, but the in-app purchases, that's it really for the company, right? So if you're buying things inside of an app, there shouldn't be a percentage that goes to Apple because you're hosting it. And so I think they said that they ruled that they have to change how they do in-app purchases going forward. And so it's like it's a small victory, but it is what it is. And then Apple, like you said, the stock, like, are we worried about it short-term, long-term? What's tomorrow, right? Like they have this, right? They announced a new iPhone tomorrow. They announced a new iWatch, potentially a new iPad. So,
and that car.
Well, we're going to get there, but they're just going to keep on innovating. We're going to keep supporting it. Like their brand loyalty is at a different level. So,
yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, they kind of have, a monopoly on it. And a lot of people, really don't have. Fortnite obviously can survive without Apple, but the vast majority of apps really can't survive without Apple. Mm-hmm. So it'll be interesting to see if other, huge apps and games decide to leave the platform. But Fortnite, it'll be interesting to see their future.
Yeah, majority of CEOs are saying like we're fine paying the 30 because we wouldn't have the audience. Our business wouldn't survive without you. Like you said, Fortnite a little different. The way that they have run their businesses, they can do it on any platform. They do it on Xbox, they can do it on PlayStation. They don't really need the app. So yeah, having the handheld is clutch and it's a key component, but like you said, it will survive without it.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see.